I'm the Hooded Lid and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about my nighttime skin routine. So I've already done my essence routine about 3 weeks ago. Last week I did my daytime routine and this is my night routine. This is only my topicals. I will be doing another video that will be extras and special things that talk about some of the machinery I'm using. And I really think a lot of these things that I've incorporated, some recently, some as much as 6 months ago, are making a big difference in my skin. And maybe the most important element, but the topicals are very important. This is where I'm hydrating my skin, I'm moisturizing my skin, and I am protecting my skin. During the day, it's just about that. At nighttime, I'm also bringing in some retinol. So I'm moisturizing, I'm hydrating, I'm using a retin product, and I'm using a couple of other things that I want to share with you. And I have my glasses, which I may have to go to. So let's talk a little bit about retin, because I use two products. I go back and forth. I use the Osmosis, which is retinol, ending with AL, also known as retinaldehyde, which I prefer because that way there's no confusion with retinol, which ends in OL. I'm using Osmosis for retinaldehyde, and I'm using Drunk Elephant's A Passione for retinol. Retinol of Drunk Elephant is 1%, where the retinaldehyde is 0.06, I believe. So you would think, oh, well, the Drunk Elephant would be better. You would be wrong. Retin A is immediately available to your receptors that signal to make collagen. Retinol needs to be converted twice in your skin before it's bioavailable to your receptors. Retinaldehyde only has to be converted once. You can assume that each time it's converted, you lose some of the efficacy, some of the strength. So I'm imagining, I don't know how to measure how much you lose, but I'm going to imagine that they're probably about the same strength. They're just different ways of getting there. You may ask why I don't use Retin A. I don't use Retin A because my skin is kind of sensitive and it scares me. Retinol scares me, and it took me a long time to find something I liked. I've tried many things, and the things that I've tried just didn't work for me for one or another reason. I did try, for instance, The Ordinary had retinol in squalene, but you want your retinol to be on pretty soon in your program, pretty early in your program, and this was an oil. And to me, oil is the last thing that you put on. I've used I used two different products from Paula's Choice. I've used First Aid Beauty. I've used many things before that. I've used Adapalene, otherwise known as Differin, which comes in a gel, and it's really made for people with acne because it is super drying. And I just didn't find something that I liked putting on, and that's really important. Just like sunscreen, if you don't like putting it on, you're not going to put it on, and you're not going to see any progress. Could I have better progress if I use Retin A? Yeah, undeniably. I'm just not there. I'm just not there. So these are the products that I use, and I really like them a lot. So let's start from the beginning. I'm going to pull in footage showing you the application of some of these things as necessary, and I am going to put on my glasses. The first thing I do at night is micellar water and cotton pads, and I take off a good deal of makeup, including my eye makeup. Sometimes I get it all, sometimes I don't. Then I go in with my Tatcha oil for a nice oil cleanse. I use one pump. There's no reason to go crazy with it, especially since I just use the micellar water and got a lot off. I still have sunscreen and that kind of stuff that I need to get off. So I take one pump, then I wet my hands, I work it in, I rinse off my hands, shake off the extra water, and do it again. And I tend to do that 3 times, and then I rinse it. Then I go in with my final cleanse, which is the CeraVe Hydrating, same thing that I use in the morning. Following my cleansing, I do cover my special things, which we'll talk about later. Let's pretend I'm not doing any of that today, and we just move on. Then I do my essences. I'm not going to go at length with these essences or talk about which ones they are or talk about what's good in each one. I will say just this. Each of these essences has something in common. They hydrate. They have glycerin and or sodium hyaluronate, but they also have something special about it. And I like getting these special things like bifida, for instance, or urea in an essence form because it's not going to be emulsified with a cream or a moisturizer and can really be absorbed by the skin. This is 4 essences I'm using at the same time, and then I follow that up with my Hada Labo lotion, which is not a lotion, it's essence weight. So the essence is just like in the morning program. In the morning program, I usually go in with my lightest moisturizer right now, but in this program, I'm keeping with my serum weight. So I'm going to show you what Osmosis Night looks like. I put on Rewind from Stratia. Let me tell you about that. That is glycerin, niacinamide, DMAE, panthenol, hydrogenized rice protein, licorice root extract, tamarind seed extract, Centella asiatica, sodium hyaluronate, and urea. This is a fantastic serum. I used to do it morning and night, but I don't want to mix my niacinamide with my C. Some people say it's fine, some people say it's not fine. I say, why take the chance? I do it at night. Also, niacinamide is the perfect partner for retinols, so much so that both my retinols have niacinamide in it. I oftentimes, but not always, mix it with my next product. So either this goes on first and then the next product, or I mix them together. Kind of doesn't matter. And then I do my antioxidant, which is from DHC. It's a Japanese brand, and it is the CoQ10 Milk. Again, this is a Japanese brand, so milk and lotion don't mean exactly what you think they mean. Lotion is an essence weight, and milk is serum weight. In this we have glycerin, olive fruit oil, squalene, lecithin, aloe, ubiquinone, which is the CoQ10, tocopherol, sodium hyaluronate, and soluble collagen. Collagen used topically is a moisturizer. It has nothing to do with the collagen in your skin. And that's my antioxidant focus, even though there are antioxidants in these other things. After that, I go in with my Osmosis. I use the Advanced Retinol Serum. They have 3 from Osmosis, and the Advanced is the strongest one as far as I can tell. And the highlights in that are niacinamide, glycerin, terapeptide 3, terapeptide 38, sodium hyaluronate, lactic acid, retinol 0.06, retinaldehyde, and beta-glucan. They have some other things in here, but those are the goodies. After that serum, I go in with the Ordinary's alpha-arbutin. This is good for spots, sun damage, hyperpigmentation, and I have a little bit of that. I've got some odd ones like right here on both sides of my face, and just here and there I have little dark bits from the sun, and I'd like to work on that. And I only use this at night because this is not an elegant formulation. I find the other serums from The Ordinary that I've tried to be less than elegant and more suited for evening. In that we have water, alpha-arbutin, second ingredient. I love that. Sodium hyaluronate, hydrogenized castor oil, and lactic acid. All lovely, very simple, and I think it's pretty effective. After that, I go in with the Hada Labo hyaluronic milk. This is the same product I use in the morning, but briefly I'll highlight what's going on. Squalene, glycerin, hyaluronic acid, nah. It's very hydrating and a little bit moisturizing. And if you have oily skin, that might be all you need. After that, I will go in with my final bit. I'm kind of sealing everything in. During the day, I use the Stratia Liquid Gold. At night, I like to mix it up a little bit, get slightly different ingredients, but it is the same effect, is strengthening your skin's barrier. So this is the Ordinary Natural Moisturizing Factors, and it's really inexpensive. I'm going to tell you what they say about this. The formula offers a non-greasy hydration that acts as a direct topical supplement of impaired natural moisturizing factor components. It contains 8 amino acids, lipids, alpha, beta, gamma, fatty acids, triglycerides, sterols, sterile esters, glycerin, ceramide precursors, urea, saccharides, sodium PCA, and hyaluronic acid. That's what they're saying. And here are some of the highlights of the ingredients. Glycerin, sodium hyaluronate, arginine, which I spoke about in my essence video, aspartic acid, alanine, serine, and valine. And all of those are skin identicals. There's also urea, linoleic acid, and oleic acid, lecithin, and tocopherol. Really nice thing. And that's kind of wrapping it up. I oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes put a single drop of the Biosense vitamin C and rose in squalene. I'll write it down before, just to have some squalene in there to kind of help lock everything up. And that's it when I'm doing my osmosis. If I'm doing DE, if I'm doing the Drunk Elephant, it's a little bit different because the Drunk Elephant comes in a cream and I find it to be quite moisturizing. In fact, if I have let time go by and it's 10 or 11 or 12 o'clock and I still haven't washed my face, I hate it when I do that, but I do it, then I'm going to use the Drunk Elephant because it's just a couple of steps. My preference for putting on all of these products, and I should have mentioned this in the beginning, is as early as possible. When the sun is down, I like to wash my face. I'm oftentimes busy editing or researching or, doing something, and I look at the clock and I think, oh, it's 9. I really want to get it done by 9. And then I look at the clock and I'm like, oh, it's 10:30. And on and on and on. But for me, I love to wash my face, get everything up, and start with my program as early as possible because I'm a side sleeper. And I don't want to have the best conditioned pillowcases in the world. I want it to all sink into my skin and I roll around on both sides. I just would like to give this a solid 4 or 5 hours to sink in before I hit the hay. So now let's get into what I do when it's Drunk Elephant. I wash my face the same. I do the essences the same. After I've done those essences, I do the Age Rewind or Rewind by Stratia to get my niacinamide, and then I go in with the DE. I don't do the Hada Labo milk because this is so moisturizing as it is, and I don't want that extra barrier. I don't want anything with a little bit of heft to it to get in the way of penetration. So basically I'm keeping it to essences and 1 serum, and then I'm putting this on, and then I'm pretty much done. If I put it on earlier in the evening and I feel like I still need a little something a couple of hours later, it's one of my favorite things to do. If I start at like 7 o'clock at night, a couple hours later I might put on an oil. A couple of hours later I might put on balm. Just whatever my skin feels like it needs. But oftentimes I'm doing this program if I haven't washed my face earlier and I just need to get something on. And that is my night program when it comes to topicals. It's not incredibly complicated. I hope I've been able to relay it to you. It's just I have 2 retinols. Sometimes I do one, sometimes I do the other. When I do the Drunk Elephant, the system's a lot shorter. When I do the osmosis, I add a couple of serums to it, and that's it. I'm getting my antioxidants in both. I probably wasn't clear on that. When I do that niacinamide, when I'm doing the Drunk Elephant, I use the coenzyme there too. So the coenzyme goes both programs. The niacinamide, both programs. The washing, both programs. The essences, both programs. The difference is the moisturizers, depending on if I'm using the Drunk Elephant or the osmosis. I really hope I'm able to edit this in a way that is understandable. I think it's kind of easy, but I do it, so I would think it's kind of easy. And that is going to wrap up my evening program. Next time, we're going to talk about the other good stuff, which I think are just as important, probably more important for anti-aging, and this is just keeping care of my skin itself. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. I hope it was helpful to you, and I hope you come back again. Until we meet again, be safe and smart, and I'm wishing you good health.